if we're saying Alex Jones should be deplatformed, let's say let's step back a little bit and look at someone, let's say like Ben Shapiro, who has maybe, let's say, you could interpret some of the stuff he says as hateful if you were so inclined. So at what point do you think Ben Shapiro should be deplatformed?
No. Maybe some people would disagree with me on this, but I think Ben Shapiro plays a role in radicalization on the internet. I even think, and you guys might disagree with me on this, I think Jordan Peterson used to play a significant role in this radicalization on this pipeline.
What about Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan as well. I think Joe Rogan is a lot better now at and a lot more careful now. I don't know what changed in his mentality. Maybe he started watching like Kyle Kalinske or numerous other like David Pagman and some other like leftists on YouTube, and really changed his mind on the way that he had guests on. But I mean, Joe Rogan had Milo Yiannopoulos on, and he even had Stefan Molyneux on, or Molyneux. I don't know how to say his last name. Whatever. And these are people who have not only worked openly with Nazis and white supremacists, and I mean like Nazis and white supremacists literally, like people who call themselves white supremacists or white nationalists, or have openly admitted that they believe that the white race is superior, like Stefan did in that famous video where he went to Poland.
Joe would say, look, I think he would say something like, sunshine is the best disinfectant, right? Like, let's just talk. Conversation is good. Let's just talk with anybody about anything, right? Do you agree with that theory?
Yes and no. So it's kind of like Alex Jones. I love Alex Jones. I think he's very entertaining, but it gets to a point where it's dangerous, right? And the same conversation exists within the Joe Rogan sphere, where do I think that we should shut off communication from every like person that's ever associated with a Nazi? No, of course not. But someone like Joe Rogan with a gigantic platform, in my mind, is not being as responsible. And this is one man's opinion, so that's just my personal opinion. But I think someone like Joe Rogan, when he has someone like Stefan Molyneux on, or even Gavin McInnes on, and doesn't really push back. And I say this as a fan of Joe Rogan who's been watching him for years. I've met him. I've had conversations with him in the past when he used to be a Young Turks fan. He probably doesn't remember, but it doesn't matter. It was very important for me. He'll have his fucking mug in my apartment from like 6 years ago. I was a huge Joe Rogan fanboy and still watch him regularly. But I think that when you're talking to people who are deliberately trying to misinform people and radicalize them towards the alt-right, or towards like really just awful, irrational, horrific white supremacist, white nationalist ideas, then you got to be a little bit more responsible and have the facts and talking points ready. You have to know what their talking points are so you can accurately and adequately address them. Otherwise, and Joe Rogan is great when he's interviewing people. Otherwise, you're just having a polite conversation with them, and then you're just normalizing their opinions, or you're even promoting them. And that's the difference between platforming versus like, a more contentious interview. What you've done so far, with your playing devil's advocate, even like that is a more adequate way of dealing with that than just having someone like Stefan Molyneux on and just being like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jamie, pull that ape video up. Like,
yeah. Is there anyone you can think of that should be deplatformed that currently you're like, man, I cannot believe this dude is allowed to continue on?
Not really. I mean, I guess like the thing that I cannot comprehend is Keemstar, where like he has he's done like so much horrible shit, and he does associate with people who are definitely on the side of the Nazis, but then portray themselves as centrists from time to time, and like podcasts and things like that have already been deplatformed. But like, I don't want Keemstar to be yeeted off the face of the planet, although that does sound appealing personally. I don't want him to just like be fucking completely deplatformed. I just want him to stop being an asshole. Do you see what I'm saying?
I don't think
And
he can though.
but
Yeah.
part of the reason why he can't
He
is
can't
because
stop.
there is never any there are never any sort of there's never like a reason for him to, because he makes money doing this.
Yeah.
And he will continue doing it over and over again because he makes money doing it. And there's no pushback.
Yeah, it's
Like there might be some pushback from people who watch him or people who say like, "Oh, fuck you," but he knows how to dance around that.
Yeah.
He turns that into content in and of itself.
he has the Alex Jones. It's like the Alex Jones syndrome, where he becomes more radical because it's where he finds the most success.
Yeah, profitable.
And but I do think there's a strong argument that he is I think, a danger to public safety. I don't think to the same degree as Alex Jones, who's like,
Yeah.
for example, sending, like, I remember the family of Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
They had to like move and shit. I mean, that's crazy. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's definitely an interesting case. I mean, there's no question that he's a horrible person.
Yeah, I just like I don't
Is he a horrible person?
No.
I don't know. I mean, like,
What?
is he a horrible person? I mean, what do you
I do
make of
think
it?
so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I-
From
I
my
think he's a
personal
bad
experience
person.
with him, yes.
Yes.
I can't.
Because
From my personal experience, I cannot point out another person that has the same effects as he does on people, and has had on me personally.
Yeah, I try to like. I feel like there's not very many truly bad people in the world. You know what I mean? Like, just like you're a bad person. So I try to, and of course he would deny that. He thinks he's a good person. So
I think everyone has the capability of being good, including Keemstar. That is at the center of what I believe. I believe in rehabilitation over incarceration.
Yeah.
I believe that our draconian opinion on like our draconian understanding of punitive measures is genuinely a significant problem in the criminal justice system, but also even in these like, I guess, quote unquote witch hunts or internet mob mentality that exists in cancel culture and all these things that we talk about. But ultimately, at a certain point, we got to recognize like this dude is not stopping. Like, how do we get him to stop? Like, I would much rather be able to have a conversation with him privately, knowing full well that it's not going to be like used or weaponized against me in the future. But I can't trust that. But and be like, dude, why are you doing this? Like, there are different ways that you can still keep making the same money and even probably get admired by a lot more people. I wish you would stop. That's what I have to say to Keemstar. Like,
I feel
just,
like I've had that
please.
conversation with him, and he got super defensive and angry. It was really frustrating. It was after the whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, the fact that we even have this conversation now, and once this gets published, is going to mean that like the crosshairs are back on me. Keemstar was actually played a significant role in the 9/11 stuff too. So whenever he says like
he
cancel
did?
culture is bullshit, oh, of course, there is like a direct pipeline from it was on LSF. Someone who fucking hates me immediately published it on LSF. Like literally took a clip, streamed it, like restreamed the clip so that they could have it on their own. So I can't delete it. Published it on LSF, which is a very popular subreddit that features all of these like live stream fails from Twitch and stuff. Keemstar took it, published it. Every single like right wing commentator on Twitter highlighted it and was like, "How the fuck is this guy still on the platform? I can't believe that they're like letting this dude stay on the platform." Blah blah blah. And then it went all the way to Tucker Carlson's producers. And then after that, it was in the Fox News pipeline. So it just circulated through. But that's how it went. Like I could literally track it, like little pings, moving, and the story gaining momentum and the outrage building.
Yeah.
He really has a talent to amplify.
Yeah, he does.
If someone is having a bad moment, he immediately
That's it.
he immediately is on top of that and making it 10 times worse.
But that's kind of his talent, right? It's almost hard to hold that against him. But the problem with Keemstar is that there's no filters, there's no self-awareness of thinking like, this is not necessarily so important, and like the damage it's going to do to this person is way worse than like the actual importance of me amplifying this. He doesn't have that. You know what I mean? So the
He
amplification.
is Mr. Cancel Culture,
Yeah.
regardless of whatever his personal opinions are or how he presents
Yeah.
himself on cancel culture. He is the number one
It's true.
Yeah.
canceler.
Yeah.
He literally does cancel culture nonstop,
Yeah.
and so do Republicans. That's why I always am like, I always think it's so silly when liberals are the only people that do cancel culture is like so common on the internet, especially on YouTube,
Yeah.
which certainly has more right wing content creators than left wing.
Yeah, I don't know when that
They
happened,
have
but you're right.
so successfully monopolized the marketplace, and this narrative is just something that everyone just universally agrees on now. It feels like that leftists and liberals are the ones engaging in cancel culture, and certainly some are, but to think that Republicans don't do
Well,
it
they say
nearly as much,
it's just
is
because
ridiculous.
if you don't outright say we need to cancel this guy, that doesn't mean that you're not pro cancel culture. It's what Keemstar does every day on his show, is like trying to fucking ruin people's lives. I feel like, genuinely. I mean, look how they've gone after Pokimane. That
Yeah.
whole saga has been totally mind bending to me. Like,
Yeah.
you saw Leafy's here. He's made 10 videos on her, and her crime, I
Yeah.
guess, is that he doesn't think she is worthy of her success. And
She's not beautiful enough.
She's not right. She's not beautiful. She's
Well,
not
also
entertaining.
simultaneously, everyone watches her just for her ass. Right? That's the funny thing is like she's not hot, but everyone only watches her for the way she
Well,
looks.
so what?
And-
I mean, even if let's just
Right.
accept
It's
that
like-
that's true. I mean, so fucking what, dude? So
Yeah.
you're bitter
It's
that
not
you
for
don't
me.
have that competitive advantage.
It's not for me. I am
Yeah.
capable of saying, yeah, Pokemon's content, not for me. I don't get, I don't understand, like what people see. I think she's a great person in real life, but as a broadcaster, like it's not something I'm going to tune into. But then again, I don't really tune into a lot of Twitch broadcasts anyway because I'm streaming 12 hours a day. But I can move on because I don't think that she's like causing genuine harm against anyone. I don't think she's like out there, like
No.
even against conservatives
Yeah.
and shit. She's not even like, even if you were to say she's a liberal or whatever, it's not like she's like agitating against conservatives, being like conservatives are fucking brain dead. Like we need to deplatform them, anything like that. She's just a person who makes YouTube videos and a person who like plays Minecraft and stuff. And
It's like
And
it's
has
almost
a lot
like
of people that
she-
like-
Successful.
yeah. It's like she became so successful, and now somehow it's her fault that people like her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They make it her problem that people like her. But beyond that, I genuinely think that there's basically like a whole cycle of commentary channels now that all kind of chew out the same topics. Like they find a person to hate and grind into the ground, and then they move on to another one, just because I think there's interest in it, right? I don't think they actually even believe or care about the things that they say. I think they're just actually, you coined a term. I don't know if you coined a term, but I thought it was good. Simp cell.
Oh yeah, I did say that. Yeah, simp cells. They're farming simp cells. So what they're doing is there's like a Venn diagram of simps and incels. Like, do people actually exist that are simps? People who are just showering people with endless praise and money with the express purpose of like maybe one day they'll recognize me? Certainly. Okay, parasocial relationships are real on the internet. These people certainly exist. Ultimately harmless. And maybe they even get frustrated when they find out that their favorite e-celebrity is dating someone else or has a life outside of how they present themselves, right? But that's not the norm for the most part. I think a lot of people are just watching. And then there are incels who are very agitated at women being able to farm these simps, but it comes from the same place. So what these guys are doing, like Leafy is here and any number of other people that like shit on Alinity or shit on Pokimane, all they're doing is farming simps for themselves. Incel
Awesome.
simps.
That's awesome. That's just like the
I love
greatest
that.
acknowledgement ever. It's total simp
Yeah.
seldom.
Because it's easy. Like, so the way they say female content creators make a living is really easy because they're just showing off their body and they're being hot and then they get showered in donations. So that's easy. Okay. You know what else is fucking easy? Being like, that chick sucks. She's unattractive. She's only successful because she's attractive. saying that on fucking YouTube is not exactly a brave take.
And
okay?
then making that
Literally,
video 10 times
yeah,
in a row because the one
exactly.
video
It's
did
so
well.
obvious.
It's crazy. It's actually crazy. It's almost like, I have to say, with Leafy, it's almost impressive the fact that he's been able to make 10 videos in a row on the topic, still get like hold with the, like people are still watching them, and like he's pushing. Like I mean, he's basically just testing YouTube at this
Right.
point.
Yeah, I mean, they're
how
kids
many
though,
videos?
right?
What?
Aren't they kids though? Like, I don't think that like fully grown adult human beings are like paying attention to this stuff.
I
It's
would
probably like little
say-
kids that
Yeah.
are watching it.
I would say probably like 15 to maybe 20 at highest.
Yeah,
I think younger than 15.
No, that's scary. I hope not.
Definitely.
I don't know. But then it's like our reaction itself, our reaction to be like, oh, that's actually pretty bad, contributes to their edgy outlook, right? Like, because that's all it is. It's like, I'm edgy, I'm trying to be edgy.
Yeah.
And when you're fucking 15, you're like, that's cool, that's
Yeah.
edgy.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to find yourself.
Yeah.
I know. I've definitely done shit like that too. Like when I was younger. So I totally get it.
It's just like, it's like nihilism. It's like nothing matters. No, because you know, you're young, you're invincible. It doesn't matter. It's nihilism. It really is. I find that to be a kind of a common thread on the internet in general, is that caring about anything at all is people just make fun of you for anything you care about. But meanwhile, they actually don't stand for or have beliefs in anything at all, other than shitting on people that actually care to say anything substantial about anything.
I would say making 10 videos in a row about someone like Pokimane, that's you care, dude. Maybe you care a little too much, dude. You gotta fucking figure it out.
But it works, right? That's what's crazy. It fucking is working for him. So let's see.
But it's just like Keemstar when he says he hates cancel culture, but then literally exclusively makes money off of doing cancel culture.
Yeah.
That's how they make money. Like, this is how and they're extremely hypocritical.
Yeah, and then you gotta love Keemstar saying that I invented
going
after sponsors, man.
Yeah, no, that certainly never
Which is,
existed
by the
before
way,
you
the
did.
one time I've ever done that, and he's done it dozens of times and still does it even after making that claim. Like, he was tagging Alinity sponsors on Twitter and shit. It's like, I've done that once in a situation that I felt was entirely justified, and he does it actively all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And it worked.
think, again, it's because we're all content creators and we're all afraid of that happening to us. So that's why it's like, because of that, it's kind of like an unwritten rule that you don't fuck up anybody else's bag, because it might come back to you, as Moist Critical pointed out on his video. But at the same time, it's like, well, what if you get the fucking sea of hate from people like Keemstar Nonstop, who then also do go after your fucking sponsors, or definitely play a significant role in your deplatforming, or even play a significant role in you losing your sponsors as a consequence of his like endless sea of attention or endless focus. Shitting on you and finding your worst moments out of context, whatever. Somebody made. How do you deal with that then?
Yeah, this one guy made a really good point. It was FaZe Rug's brother who Keemstar had on a parade of women accusing him of sexual impropriety, and then he goes, dude, how am I ever supposed to get a sponsor? Or maybe it was actually, sorry, it was KSI's brother, Deji. Yeah, it was Deji. He says, how am I ever supposed to get a sponsor when the first thing that pops up when you type my name is all this horrible shit you say about me?
Yeah. No, that's the hilarious way that Keemstar is like very hypocritical on cancel culture and shit, because this is how he makes his money, by shitting on people and eliminating sponsorship opportunities for themselves while simultaneously acting like he is anti-cancel culture or anti-going after people's sponsors. It's bullshit. And that's why I'm like, if you truly are fearful of like an innocent person getting their sponsorship removed, then you should absolutely be against Keemstar. Like 100%. You should be like, what the fuck, dude? You do this all the time.
That's what
you
it does.
constantly, deliberately misrepresent people's positions and misinform your audience and go after people. And then you're gonna sit here and act like you're the only one who doesn't care about sponsorships getting taken away. Like you don't want that.
Well, it's refreshing to have this kind of conversation and just to hear you also seeing all this stuff that we're seeing, because sometimes it just feels like no one will talk about it.